Hey guys, it's Paul. Welcome to Circular Motion. Hey friends, how you doing? Just going to go through a few more of my records. I hope you're all well. If you're new, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And if you're returning, thank you again. I've got 81 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. So if you're one of those and you're watching now, thank you ever so much. If you like what you see, please hit the like button. That would help me out enormously. And don't forget to tickle the old notification bell to keep abreast of new content, of which there will be a lot. I've got a lot to get through. I've got about 200 LPs and 100 singles, like 7-inch singles and some 12-inch singles to get through. And I'm going to do it little bits at a time because I don't want to waffle on for half an hour every time I do a video, because I'm sure you get bored of listening to me drone on like a lunatic. So without much further ado, let's crack on. So if you've watched my last video, you'll know that my dad gave me his vinyl collection, which was incredibly generous and gracious and kind of him. And I've been going through it all over the last sort of couple of weeks, and there's some amazing stuff in there. So I'm really excited to share it all with you. Along the way, hopefully I'll have some new purchases. I'm still waiting for some post to arrive, because I did order the last new Ghost single before they released the newest one on orange vinyl, but that's never materialised. Now I can't find the order anywhere, or even a record of the transaction, which is typical me. So I reordered it again in a different format, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. And I've ordered the new Ghost album, which isn't going to be here for another 5 weeks or so, 4 weeks or so, but I'm really excited about that. And I do have tickets for Manchester, so I'm even more excited about that. But anyway, without much further ado, let's dive right into it, because you're not here to listen to me waffle on about bands I'm going to see. You're here to talk about records. And we'll kick off with Jimi Hendrix, Valleys of Neptune. I picked this up when I got the Lovely Eggs LP that I shared with you last week. They're bright yellow with the amazing artwork. And this is really good. It was part of the 2 for 40 at HMV, and it's unreleased stuff. What does it say here? The brand new, completely unreleased studio album with 12 previously unreleased tracks. I can't read it because it's so blooming small. Including the Valleys of Neptune, which is probably previously unreleased, but everybody knew about it. So it's got Stone Free, brilliant version of that on. Valleys of Neptune, Bleeding Heart. Here, My Trainer Coming, Mr. Bad Luck, and a storming version of Sunshine of Your Love. Lover Man, Ships Passing Through the Night, Fire, Red House, Lullaby for Summer, and Crying Blue Rain. And it is really good. It's a double album. It's a gatefold sleeve, and there's a nice little kind of booklet as well, with some nice kind of bits and bobs, and a great picture on the back. This is a 2010 pressing, and you know it is the artwork and everything. It is really nice. It sounds phenomenal. You wouldn't think it was as old as it was. They've really done a good job with it. It does sound phenomenal, really. To say as well that it's like outtakes and unreleased stuff, because generally stuff like that's unreleased for a reason. So I wasn't expecting much, but I thought 2 for 20, I'll get it. 2 for 40, sorry. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So if you get a chance, snag yourself a copy of that from HMV. Moving on, sticking with something a little bit contemporary. So this is from, these are all from my dad's collection now. And I'm going to move on to Mr. C6 Steve. There he is with his tractor. I've actually got a tour shirt that's got a drawing of a tractor on there. Probably that was one of the first things he bought when he got some money, was a tractor, a John Deere tractor specifically. So yeah, Man from Another Time. It's really nice. There's him and his long-time buddy and drummer, who wasn't with him on his last tour, but I've seen him 3 times now live with that dude. And every time it's just been a joy to behold. And I sometimes play the drums, and I generally don't play with shoes on, and neither does he, so obviously he's a very good drummer. So yeah, this is when was this? This was 2009, and it's got some nice tracks. I mean, it is what it is. It's not C16 is never going to be Eric Clapton or Ingrid Malmsteen or B.B. King, but he does what he does, and he does it incredibly well. He plays great blues. He is a virtuoso of sorts on the guitar. It's amazing what he can do with the guitars that he does use. And this is just, it's cracking. It's pretty much, from what I can gather reading through it, an analog recording. He's tried to keep computer out of it as much as possible, and it does sound really nice. There's a real warmth to it. So again, if you like some good old-fashioned blues, give that a go. Next, now this was in my dad's collection, Kate Bush, The Whole Story. And this is an original 1986 European pressing with a gatefold sleeve. And it's basically a greatest hits album. Wuthering Heights, Cloudbusting, Man with a Child in His Eyes, Breathing, Wow, Hounds of Love, Running Up That Hill, which is a nice one, Army Dreamers, Sat in Your Lap, Experiment 4, which is a new track at this point, The Dreaming, and Babushka, 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 Aya, which is, was a popular track at the time. As a greatest hits album, it's decent enough, but as an album, generally, it's pretty poor. My ace mate and brother from another mother, Justin, he got, was it Aerials? He got that last year, and we were both blown away about how amazing it sounded. It really does sound good, and I was expecting this. I was like, yes, I saw this, and I'll put that on, listen to that, and I was like, it's a bit underwhelming, to be honest. It's quite flat, it just doesn't pop like I expected it to. My voice just doesn't. I expected it to leap right out and tickle my insides, but it didn't, sadly. But it's still, it's still a nice album, and it's a nice addition. It's nice to have something different to go to instead of the usual stuff that I normally have, which generally tends to be either jazz or the heavy rock or just rock in general, or some prog, but that's still rock. So it's worth checking out, definitely. Next up, my dad hates Judas Priest, and I was going through these records, and I was delighted to inform him that in his record collection he does actually have some Judas Priest. So just there, Judas Priest. But to be fair, they are covering a Fleetwood Mac track, Green Manalishi with the two-pronged crown. So this is just one of those great compilation albums that you would see advertised on the TV back in the 80s and 90s. I don't watch a lot of TV these days. I generally just stream stuff, so I don't see many adverts now, so I don't know if they're still going on, but it's a cracking little album, to be fair. Loverboy, Journey, Blue Oyster Cult, Judas Priest, Santana, Joe Perry Project, Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush, and Billy Burnett. It sounds really nice, and this is another one of those things that, like the next record I'm going to show you, which kind of shoots the whole 180 gram audio file vinyl sort of in the neck, really, because it's really sort of flimsy, and it sounds really nice. But I've kind of saved in this round the best to last. So, I mean, this is like paper thin. It feels like there's no record in there. So we've got the Warner Brothers Music Show with the inimitable Bugs Bunny on the front, and this is not what you think. So, from what I can gather, I mean, yeah, that's Bugs Bunny. You'd think straight away it was some kind of cast album, but it's not. From what I can gather, back in the 70s, so this was released in 75, so around that time, the Doobie Brothers, Graham Central Station, Little Feat, Montrose, Tower of Power and Bonnaroo appeared to have done a number of European dates, including England, Germany, Holland, Belgium and France, from January through to February I'm guessing 1975. It doesn't actually say, but as this was released in 1975, I'm assuming that was the case. So, and this is just like a sampler, and it was 59p, and it's got Pursuit, 53rd Street, Blackwater by the Doobie Brothers, Feel the Need and We've Been Waiting and Release Yourself by Graham Central Station. It's got Oh Atlanta and Dixie Chicken by Little Feat. It's got Sally Ann by Bonnaroo. It's got Connection and Bad Motor Scooter by Montrose. And it's got Don't Change Horses in the Middle of a Stream and Only So Much Oil in the Ground by Tower of Power. And it gives, it's got some pictures on the back there, including a very, very young looking Sammy Hagar. And yeah, it is. My dad said when we were like putting them in the car, he said, "Oh, that's a brilliant album." And I was like thinking, is it though? And yeah, if you're watching, Dad, yeah, you're absolutely right. It is an absolute banger. And it sounds phenomenal. It really does. And, like I was saying there, they've made this as cheap as possible, because that will have been, even in 1975, that will have been a phenomenal price. And, it is. It's super duper thin, that's not even 80 gram vinyl, I don't think. So anyone that starts waffling onto you about 180 gram audiophile vinyl, tell them to stick it in their ass, because you don't need all that vinyl to make a decent sounding record, because this does sound the tits. It really does. That's that really. That is everything. I'll be doing another video very soon. There's all kinds of amazing stuff to go through. There's Cream, there's Stones, there's, what else is there? Eric Clapton, if you like Eric Clapton. And then there's loads of singles, T-Rex and the Stones again, and Little Richard, and The Who, and Foreigner, and Philip Schofield, which I showed you last week, which apparently isn't Dad's, it was his wife's, but who knows. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me again. I will be doing a video again very soon. If you've got any recommendations for me or any comments on today's crop, just give us a couple of comments down below. That would be brilliant. And again, if you are new, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. That would help me out enormously. And any of you, please hit the like button. That helps me out enormously too. And stay safe until next time. Take care. Ta-ta.